Have you ever seen how people's actions flip without warning? One day they're right there, chatting, laughing, sticking around like always. The next they're quiet, unsure, or even icy. But what if I told you that when someone starts acting strange, they're not just switching up, they're showing you something hidden? Picture your favorite hoodie, the one you threw on every day, soft and cozy, hugging you just right, until one morning it feels off. The sleeves pinch, the fabric scratches like it doesn't belong to you anymore. Or imagine your phone, once buzzing nonstop with texts, lighting up your face with every ping, now sitting still, only flickering with slow, lazy replies, short answers, talks that drag instead of dance. That's how people shift, not with big, loud goodbyes or slamming doors, but with tiny, sneaky changes until one day you blink and they're not who you knew. While you're scratching your head, wondering what went wrong, they've already made up their mind. They might not blurt it out, but their far-off looks, their hush, their stumbles, that's the clue. And the trap most folks fall into is running after answers when the hint's already dropped. So why do people start acting weird? Is it shame, someone new pulling strings, growing up, or a secret they're burying? Hang on until the finish, because the last reason will flip how you see everyone. Let's jump in. Number 1, they're keeping a secret. Let's chat about one of the biggest red flags that something's wrong. When someone suddenly starts acting off, maybe they pull away, get sneaky, or stumble over easy questions. The air between you feels different. Conversations that used to roll like a smooth river now bump along, awkward and stiff, and the worst part is you can't figure out why. Here's the deal. A quick change, more hiding, dodging, or fumbling words usually means they're tucking something away. People don't just wake up and act funny for no reason. There's often something bubbling underneath. A truth they're scared to spill, shame they don't want to face, or a mess they're trying to steer. Instead of coming clean, they step back, praying you don't spot the holes in their story. This is where old-school wisdom kicks in. A thinker named Heraclitus said, "Who you are decides your path." In plain words, no matter how hard they try to cover it, what's real about them will peek out. If someone's acting funny, don't brush it off. Their moves are shouting what their mouth won't say. Let me tell you a story. A guy I know, let's call him Jake, had a buddy he was tight with for years. They'd talk all day, swap every detail, but one day Jake fell a chill. His friend started texting back hours later, skipping over stuff they used to dig into, acting like he was miles away, even on the phone. When Jake asked, "You okay?" the answer was always the same. "Yeah, just slammed." But it didn't add up. The excuses stacked higher, and their easy hangout vibe faded. After a while, Jake dug out the truth. His pal had been trash-talking him to others, sneaking around to get ahead at Jake's expense. That odd behavior wasn't random. It was shame dressing up as a cold shoulder. So how do you deal? First, don't ignore the hints. If someone's off, trust your gut's nudge. Second, watch what they do, not what they say. Words lie easy, but actions spill the beans. And last, know you don't need the full scoop to choose. If they're sneaky, far off, or flaky, that's enough to go on. In the end, when someone's field changes, don't chase the old them, buy the new one. People shift, and sometimes it's not for the good. If their moves make you doubt them, don't shrug it off, because secrets in the shadows always crawl into the light. Number 2, they don't think you're worth it anymore. Let's dig into one of the roughest truths to swallow. When someone acts different because they don't see you as important now. At first, it's small. They stop jumping into chats like before, talks that used to spark now fizzle. They get short, bored, or far off. And the kicker is, you feel the cold snap but can't pin down why. Here's the straight talk. If someone switches how they treat you, it's often because they don't find you useful anymore. Maybe they leaned on you for laughs, tips, or just company, but now they figure they're good without you. Maybe they've got a new friend to take your spot, or their life's pointed somewhere else. Instead of saying it to your face, they just fade you out, slow and quiet. This is where old wisdom helps. A guy named Seneca said, "Stick with folks who lift you up." Simple terms, hang with people who care about you, not just when they're stuck, but because they like who you are. If they only want you when they're desperate, they never really cared. Let me paint a picture. A guy I know, call him Daniel, had a friend who felt like family. They'd kick it all the time, catch up on everything, prop each other up. But bit by bit, Daniel saw a change. His buddy stopped texting back quick, hardly called first, and when they talked, it was rushed like Daniel was a chore. At first, Daniel thought life was just busy, but then he noticed this friend still carved out time for other people, still showed up for some. That's when it hit. It wasn't about a packed schedule, it was about who mattered. His pal didn't rank him high anymore. So how do you handle it? First, quit making excuses for them. If they cared, you'd see it. Second, let go when a friendship's done. Not every tie lasts, and holding tight just wears you out. And last, turn to folks who really get you. Find the ones who boost you, cheer you, don't leave you guessing your place. Bottom line, if someone acts off and treats you like you're nothing, believe them. You don't need to beg for anyone's time. Your worth isn't what they think, it's what you know about yourself. If this hit home, tap like and subscribe for more real talk. Number 3, someone else is tugging them. Let's unpack one of the top reasons people start acting strange. Someone new is steering them. Maybe they were solid with you, steady, real close, but then, bam, something flips. They treat you different, act different, even think different. It creeps in slow, calls drop off, plans shift, or a new wall pops up. And if you squint, you'll see it. A fresh face is rolled in, and that person's tweaking how they look at you. Here's the plain truth. A new buddy, guide, or sweetheart can flip someone's whole headspace, good or bad. Maybe they met a loudmouth who pumps them up, tells them you're extra baggage. Maybe they're swallowing ideas that make them question you, or they're bending to fit a new crew, one that wants their old life cut loose. Fact is, people soak up what's around them, and sometimes that pull yanks them your way. This is where old-school smarts shine. Aristotle said, you turn into what you keep doing. Easy words, the folks they hang with, the chats they dive into, the stuff they buy into, it shapes them. If someone's shifting from outside nudges, it's not a blip, it's where they're pointing their heart. Let me spin a yarn. A guy I know, call him Ryan, had a best pal for ages. They were rock solid, always there through thick and thin. But then his friend fell into a new romance. At first, Ryan was all smiles for him, but soon he saw cracks. His buddy quit texting much, ditched plans last minute, and when they talked, the spark was gone. Down the line, Ryan found out his friend's new flame didn't like him keeping tight pals outside her. Little by little, that sway flipped everything. His friend didn't drift because he wanted. He got talked into it. So how do you play it? First, face it, you can't boss their influences. If they bend easy, that's on them. Second, check their steadiness. A real tie doesn't flop just because a newbie shows up. And last, know when to drop it. If they shift that fast from outside voices, they weren't as firm as you thought. At day's end, the toughest stay true, no matter who strolls in. If someone floats off from another's push, don't run after them. Let them sail and trust the right ones, who see you clear, will stick close. Number 4, guilt's eating them. Let's dive into one of the loudest signs someone's off, when they act strange because guilt's gnawing inside. You might not know what they did, but all of a sudden, they're not themselves. Maybe they turn super sweet, tripping over themselves to make you smile, or maybe they flip, shutting down, skipping talks, ducking your gaze, or dodging you flat out. Either way, something's funky and your gut picks it up. Here's the straight scoop. Guilt messes with people, pushing them to act extra nice or vanish. When they've done something rotten, they can't just chill around you. Some pile on the kindness, trying to hush their nagging thoughts without fessing up. Others back off because seeing you stings too much. They figure hiding beats, spilling the beans, but either move spills what's up. This is where old wisdom lands. Seneca said, a guilty guy runs even when no one's chasing. Simple take. A bad conscience doesn't need you poking. It shows in jitters, dodging, or quick switches. If someone's off with no reason, perk up. Their guilt's yelling what they won't whisper. Let me lay out a story. A woman I know, call her Lisa, had a close friend who got weird fast. They'd gab every day, but then, poof, her pal went quiet. No spats, no mix-ups, just a vibe shift. When Lisa pinged her, answers came short, brushed off, but then, out of the blue, her friend would pop up all chipper, like she owed Lisa something. Later, Lisa found out her friend had been slamming her behind her back. Stuff she knew would crush Lisa if it leaked. That guilt flipped her friend's switch. Sometimes syrupy sweet, sometimes a ghost. She wasn't ditching Lisa. She was dodging her own mess. So how do you roll with it? First, don't miss the signals. If they act guilty, bet they are. Second, don't shove them to talk. Either they'll own it or they won't. And their hush says plenty. And last, get this, guilt's their bag, not yours. If they messed up, they carry it. You don't need to hunt peace or fix their squirm. In the end, guilt's a load folks lug, said or not. If someone's acting funny and it's off, trust the twist, because guilt makes moves speak when mouths stay shut. If you've hung with the video this long, toss a thank God in the comments and smack like if you dug it. Your cheers keep me rolling out more fun stuff. Hope it sparks you, and we keep figuring things out together. Thanks for the love. Number 5, they've grown past the tie. Let's jump into one of the rawest but realest reasons someone acts off. They've moved beyond the relationship. Maybe they don't dive into chats like before. Maybe they quit reaching out, or perhaps they just stopped putting the bond first. No fight, no backstab, just space. And the brutal part, they're not mad, not hurt, they've just rolled on. Here's the deal. Sometimes people slip away, not because stuff broke, but because they're stretching out. Growing can carve a gap between two who used to be glued tight. As their days shuffle, as their eyes turn new ways, the connection that hummed easy can start creaking. And when that hits, you can't block it. It's not you. It's them stepping into a new skin that doesn't match the old days. This is where old smarts drop in. Marcus Aurelius said, "Change is life's treat." Plain talk. Life's built to move, and people are meant to stretch. Pushing against that is like wrestling the wind. Not every pal who kicks off with you sticks to the end. Some show up for a stretch, to show you stuff, walk a bit. But when their path bends away, gripping them just drags out the split. Let me sketch a tale. A guy I know, call him Ethan, had a best bud from kid days. They were thick as thieves, always dreaming up their next big thing, sure they'd never split. But as time ticked, stuff changed. Ethan chased new dreams, fresh hobbies, a new trail. His friend, though, parked in the same spot, same tricks, same thoughts, same beat. Slowly, their link dulled. Chats got clunky, hangouts thinned out. It wasn't a bust-up, it was growing, tugging them apart. One day, Ethan got it. Hanging onto a fit that's gone is like squeezing into old jeans. You can yank them on, but they pinch. So how do you play it? First, see that growing can mean goodbye. You don't need to hate to move past someone. Second, thank them for what they gave your story. Just because they're not tomorrow's cast doesn't mean they didn't shine yesterday. And last, trust life to hook you up with folks who fit your now. As you shift, new buddies will click, ones that feel smooth, right, ready for your next lap. In the end, not every tie holds forever, and that's cool. When someone acts off from growing, don't sweat it. Let them drift easy and know the right crew will match your stride when it's time. Number 6, they're mad but mum. Let's break down a shift that's sneaky to spot early, but loud once you catch it. When someone turns chilly, far off, or snippy, but won't spill why. The feel switches, their answers shrink, their voice loses its glow, and the worst chunk is they swear nothing's up. Here's the scoop. If someone goes cold or sharp out of nowhere, they might be stewing on anger they won't let out. Instead of sitting you down, they stuff it in. Rather than facing it straight, they leak it through little jabs, skipping your texts, dodging real talks, tossing snarky lines, or acting like they don't care when they used to. Their quiet's the tip-off. This is where old wisdom lands. Epictetus said, "Talk when you gotta." Plain take, what folks don't say spills more than what they do. If someone's off but zips their lips, their moves blare louder than any excuse they toss. Let me roll out a story. A woman I know, call her Sarah, had a pal who went funny. They'd yak daily, but then her friend pulled back sharp. When Sarah pinged, replies dragged, half-hearted. Face-to-face, her pal seemed checked out, like she'd rather bolt. Feeling it shift, Sarah asked, "Something up?" And got, "Nah, all fine." But it wasn't. Months later, Sarah learned her friend had been simmering over an old thing. Something Sarah didn't even clock as trouble. Instead of hashing it, the friend let it boil, quietly rotting their bond till it caved under unsaid heat. So how do you roll with silent mad? First, don't push them to spill. If they won't talk, nudging just shuts them tighter. Second, clock their moves, their hush, their feel, their flat spark. It's a tale. And last, don't grab their unsaid beef. If they bottle anger instead of airing it, that's their haul, not yours. In the end, good ties live on straight talk, not buried gripes. If someone won't say what's eating them but keeps acting off, don't hunt clarity they won't give. You can't patch what they won't own. If this could help someone, tap like it nudges YouTube to spread it, and subscribe for more solid stuff coming. Toss your tape below. I'll hit back. Number 7. They're hurting inside. Let's dig into a shift that's often not about you. When someone acts off because they're fighting something deep, maybe they've gone quiet, pulled back, or zoned out in chats. They ditch plans more, stare into space, or don't perk up like before. At first, you might think you slipped up, but here's the truth. Not every change points at you. The deal is, they might be wrestling stuff they can't share yet. Life smacks folks in ways we don't catch. They could be tangled in stress, loss, doubt, or hurt they can't put words to. Instead of opening up, they shrink back. Not because you're less, but because their load's too big to unpack. This is where old smarts step up. Plato said, "Be nice. Everyone's got a hard fight going." Simple take. Even when people seem icy, far, or odd, they might be battling shadows. Don't take their shift as your fault. Try starting with a soft heart. Let me draw a scene. A guy I know, call him Jake, saw his best bud Chris fade out fast. They'd talk every day, but then Chris went silent. When they hung out, he was foggy, not his old self. At first, Jake figured Chris was done with him. But instead of guessing, Jake tried new tack. Rather than asking, "Why you pulling back?" he said, "Hey man, no clue what's cooking, but I'm around if you want to talk." Weeks later, Chris cracked open. He'd been slugging through heavy stuff and didn't want to dump it on anyone. It wasn't Jake, it was Chris wrestling a quiet storm. So how do you handle? First, don't take it personal. Their fight doesn't shrink your worth. Second, give them room, but show you're there. Sometimes they need a beat before they'll chat. And last, come in easy, not pushy. A quick, "Hope you're good. Hit me if you need," can lift more than you'd guess. At day's end, everyone's got battles we can't see. If someone's acting weird, don't pin it on you. Roll with patience, toss some support, and know sometimes just sticking near, even if they're shut tight, is the best move. If this rang true, smack like and subscribe for more straight-up insights.